Live from New Delhi, you're watching DT India Live, India's voice to the world. I'm Shubhendu Ghosh, coming up in the next 30 minutes. EU leaders, along with Ukraine President, meet at emergency summit in Brussels. German Chancellor Scholz says Europe should not give up on US support. The Kremlin says Macron doesn't want peace. Russian foreign minister says his nuclear rhetoric is a threat to Russia. Hamas defies Trump's ultimatum, says US President's repeated threats encourage Israel to evade ceasefire terms. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky is in Brussels for an extraordinary EU summit, seeking further support amid the ongoing conflict with Russia. At the summit, Zelensky met with EU leaders, including European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen and European Council President Antonio Costa. He thanked European nations for their continued support.
To Ukrainian people, to Ukrainian warriors, to civilians, to all our families. And it's great that we are not alone. We feel it and we know it. Thank you so much for everything.
The leaders of European Union's 27 countries are holding an emergency summit to discuss Ukraine and European defense. Meanwhile, German Chancellor Olaf Scholz has expressed his support for continued US involvement in European nuclear deterrence. He made these comments in Brussels during the EU summit on Ukraine crisis. The German leader emphasized the importance of existing nuclear involvement, stating that it should not be abandoned. This comes in the wake of France's offer to extend the protective umbrella of its nuclear arsenal to its European partners.
We must ensure with a cool and intelligent head that the support of the United States is also maintained in the coming months and years, because Ukraine is also dependent on their support for its defense. This must also be the most important task in the coming days in order to guarantee the conditions for a just and fair peace.
And after pausing military aid to Ukraine, US has now cut off its intelligence sharing with Kiev, curbing its ability to target Russian forces. The move raises significant pressure, pushing Ukrainian president to come to the table for negotiations. French President Emmanuel Macron has offered to extend his country's nuclear deterrent to its partners, while EU leaders gathered in Brussels for a special summit to discuss Ukraine crisis. Here's more.
In a fresh move to increase significant pressure on Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky to cooperate in a peace deal, the United States has cut off its intelligence sharing with Ukraine, impacting Kyiv's ability to defend itself from Russian forces. Since the war began in 2022, US intelligence has been vital to Ukraine's battlefield strategy. Marking a significant shift in US policy, CIA Director John Ratcliffe confirmed the decision on Wednesday. US is also reconsidering its pause in funding for Ukraine, which was announced by Donald Trump.
I believe what the National Security Council told me in regards to that was that they paused or they are reconsidering the funding for Ukraine.
Ukrainian President Zelensky hailed the announcement, calling it a positive movement in talks with Washington, hinting at a potential high-level meeting soon. On Tuesday, while addressing the US Congress, Trump revealed that he had received a letter from Zelensky signaling Kyiv's willingness to engage in peace talks.
Everyone can see how quickly diplomatic events are unfolding. Today, our teams, Ukraine and the United States, have begun working on a meeting. Andrei Yermak and Michael Waltz have spoken, and there is a positive movement. We hope for the first results next week.
4 senior members of Donald Trump's entourage held telephonic conversation with some of the Ukrainian president's top political opponents and discussed the possibility of Ukraine presidential elections. After US announcement, European leaders extended their support for Ukraine. French President Emmanuel Macron announced that he would discuss extending France's nuclear deterrent to European partners and raised the possibility of sending European troops to Ukraine to enforce a peace deal.
La semaine prochaine, nous réunirons à Paris.
As soon as next week, we will gather in Paris army chiefs who wish to take their responsibility in this matter. And so this is a plan for a solid, lasting, verifiable peace which we have prepared with the Ukrainians and several European partners and which I defended in the United States 2 weeks ago and across Europe. And I would like to believe that the United States will stay by our side, but we have to be ready if this isn't the case.
European Union leaders hold a special European Council summit in Brussels on Thursday, aimed to endorse bold steps to increase defense spending and pledge support for Ukraine amid growing concerns the continent can no longer be assured of US security. Bureau Report, DD India.
Meanwhile, the Kremlin condemned what it called a highly confrontational speech by French President Emmanuel Macron, in which he called Russia a threat to Europe and said Paris would consider putting other countries under its nuclear protection. Kremlin spokesperson Dmitry Peskov said the French leader's comments were an indication that Paris was looking to prolong the conflict in Ukraine. Meanwhile, Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov said French President Macron's nuclear rhetoric posed a threat to his country.
Of course, this is a threat to Russia. If they consider us a threat, if they call a meeting of the chiefs of general staff of European countries and Britain, if they say that it is necessary to use nuclear weapons, to prepare to use nuclear weapons against Russia, this is of course a threat.
US President Donald Trump has issued a stern threat to Hamas with severe consequences if hostages are not freed. In response, Hamas accused Washington of using repeated threats against Palestinians to support Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu to disregard the fragile ceasefire.
US President Donald Trump delivered a stern ultimatum to Hamas, demanding release of all remaining hostages in Gaza or face destruction. In a forceful statement, Trump wrote, and I quote, "Salom Hamas means hello and goodbye, you can choose. Release all of the hostages now, not later, and immediately return all of the dead bodies of the people you have murdered, or it's over for you. Only sick and twisted people keep bodies, and you are sick and twisted. I'm sending Israel everything it needs to finish the job. Not a single Hamas member will be safe you don't do as I say. I have just met with your former hostages whose lives you have destroyed. This is your last warning. For the leadership, now is the time to leave Gaza while you still have a chance. Also to the people of Gaza, a beautiful future awaits, but not if you hold hostages. If you do, you are dead. Make a smart decision. Release the hostages now, or there will be hell to pay later." In another development in a significant break from the decades-old policy, the US President Donald Trump administration has been conducting secret talks with Hamas to negotiate the possible release of American hostages. Talking to Hamas breaks a long-standing taboo against negotiating with groups the US sees as terrorist organizations. White House said US Hostage Affairs envoy Adam Boehler has the authority to talk directly with Hamas.
Well, when it comes to the negotiations that you're referring to, first of all, the special envoy who's engaged in those negotiations does have the authority to talk to anyone. Israel was consulted on this matter. And look, dialogue and talking to people around the world to do what's in the best interest of the American people is something that the president has proven is what he believes is good faith effort to do what's right for the American people.
Besides this, European nations unequivocally stated that Hamas must be stripped of its governing role in the Gaza Strip. On Tuesday, Egypt presented Gaza reconstruction in the Arab League summit in Cairo, which was outrightly rejected by Israel. However, Hamas has welcomed the Arab proposal to rebuild the Gaza Strip under a future Palestinian Authority administration. The plan is also seen as a counter to President Trump's proposal for US control and resettlement of Gaza's residents. Earlier in February, President Trump posted a AI-generated video promoting the transformation of Gaza into a Gulf state-like resort. Under the redevelopment plan for Gaza, he wants to clean out the population of about 2 million people to create the Riviera of the Middle East. Aman Kumar Himanshu's report for DD India.
The United States on Wednesday granted a month-long exemption on the new tariffs on imports from Mexico and Canada for US automakers. The pause comes after President Trump spoke with leaders of the big three automakers, Ford, General Motors and Stellantis, on Wednesday. The White House said the US is also open to hearing about other products that should be exempted from the tariffs, which took effect on Tuesday.
We spoke with the big three auto dealers. We are going to give a 1-month exemption on any autos coming through USMCA. Reciprocal tariffs will still go into effect on April 2nd, but at the request of the companies associated with USMCA, the president is giving them an exemption for 1 month so they are not at an economic disadvantage. So the three companies that he spoke to are Stellantis, Ford, and General Motors. They requested the call, they made the ask, and the president is happy to do it. It's a 1-month exemption.
And Wall Street stocks rallied after the announcement, with shares of the three automakers each surging about 6% or more. The American Automotive Policy Council said it applauded Donald Trump's move. Let's turn to the other stories. People continue to pray for Pope Francis outside of Gemelli Hospital in Rome, where he has been hospitalized for nearly 3 weeks with pneumonia. The Vatican said late Wednesday that his condition was stable and he had spent the day in an armchair with no repeat of Monday's respiratory failure. Nepal's National Assembly approved 5 ordinances on Wednesday, including those on governance, fiscal responsibility, privatization, investment promotion and cooperatives. A motion to reject them was overruled by a majority. Entrepreneurs in Turkmenistan are expanding greenhouse floriculture, growing roses and tulips year-round. With modern techniques, local farms now meet 80% of demand, reducing dependence on imports and creating jobs. And still to come on this edition of DD India Live. Honorary Order of Freedom of Barbados conferred on Prime Minister Narendra Modi. In sports, Osaka loses to Osorio in Indian Wells first round.
Complex issues, hidden agendas, twists and turns, strategic games. We think all dots are linked. We just need to connect them. Join me every week as I connect the dots to unravel hidden designs in statecraft, mysteries, and decode issues that matter to you. Watch Connecting the Dots with me at these times on DD India.
Welcome back. You're watching DD India Live. I'm Shubhendu Ghosh. India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi has been honoured with the Honorary Order of Freedom of Barbados for his strategic leadership and support during the COVID-19 pandemic. Minister of State for External Affairs Pavitra Margareta received the award on his behalf at a ceremony in Bridgetown. Barbados Prime Minister Mayor Amor Notley had announced the honour during her meeting with Prime Minister Modi on November 20th last year at the India CARICOM Leaders Summit in Guyana. India and Barbados have shared diplomatic ties since 1966. This award highlights their strong partnership. Prime Minister Modi chaired a high-level meeting on Thursday to review the progress of India's cooperative sector. Discussions focused on promoting Sarkar Se Samruddhi through technological advancement, increasing youth and women participation, and initiatives by the Ministry of Cooperation. PM emphasized the need for partnerships with global cooperatives, promoting organic products and ensuring transparency through asset documentation. He also proposed promoting cooperative farming and using digital infrastructure like AgriStack to enhance agricultural activities. Prime Minister also suggested introducing cooperative courses in educational institutions to inspire future generations. Prime Minister Modi was briefed on national cooperation policy and the ministry's achievements. And earlier, India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi visited the North Indian state of Uttarakhand as part of the state's winter tourism program. Prime Minister performed puja at the winter seat of Ganga River in Mukhwa village in the state. The puja ceremony of River Ganga took place ahead of public function in Harshal. The winter tourism program initiated by Uttarakhand government seeks to boost the local economy by promoting religious tourism. With Prime Minister Modi's visit, the state hopes to further showcase its tourism potential and attract more visitors to the region. Prime Minister Modi emphasized making Uttarakhand a year-round tourism destination.
सर्दियों में देश के बड़े हिस्से में जब कोहरा होता है, सूर्य देव के दर्शन नहीं होते, तब पहाड़ों पर धूप का आनंद मिल रहा होता है। ये एक स्पेशल इवेंट बन सकता है। और गढ़वाली में से क्या कहेंगे? घाम तापो पर्यटन। खासकर हमारे कॉरपोरेट वर्ल्ड के साथी वे विंटर टूरिज्म का हिस्सा बने। मीटिंग्स करनी हो, कॉन्फ्रेंसेस करनी हो, एग्जीबिशंस करने हो, तो विंटर का समय और देवभूमि इससे होनहार कोई जगह नहीं हो सकती है। मैं चाहूंगा कि सर्दियों में डेस्टिनेशन वेडिंग के लिए भी उत्तराखंड को देशवासी प्राथमिकता दें।
India's Minister for Electronics and Information Technology, Ashwini Vaishnav, launched the AI Kosh and AI Computer Portal in New Delhi on Thursday. The India AI mission will cover about 40% of the computing costs for eligible users. The mission will also provide shared computer resources through 14,000 graphics processing units or GPUs. Addressing the event, Minister Vaishnav said that in the next 3 to 4 years, India will have their own GPUs that will compete with the world.
I also want to share with you that now we have formalized the work for taking that very big leap in having our own chipsets. This is something which will change the course of our country. And as we finalize the entire program, as we are right now in very extensive consultations with the experts, once we do that, then in the coming 3 to 4 years, we should have our own GPUs competing with the world and really take that seat among the top 5 technology nations of the world.
From creating models in different languages to setting up data labs and building applications across sectors, India AI mission is picking up speed and scale. India is creating an inclusive and innovation-driven ecosystem with major emphasis on open data and affordable access.
India is at the forefront of an artificial intelligence revolution, shaping its future with innovation, accessibility and self-reliance. Under the leadership of Prime Minister Narendra Modi, AI is no longer confined to big tech companies. It is now empowering students, startups and innovators across the country.
India's massive and diverse data set is driving groundbreaking technical advancements in AI, not just in India but globally.
AI infrastructure. With the Indian AI mission, the government has allocated 10,300 crore to build one of the world's most advanced AI compute infrastructures. a high-end common computing facility equipped with nearly 19,000 GPUs is making AI research more affordable and accessible. India is also developing its own GPUs, reducing dependence on imports and fostering homegrown innovation. Open data and AI excellence. Data is the foundation of AI, and India is ensuring access through the India AI Dataset platform. This initiative provides high-quality, anonymized datasets, fueling AI solutions in agriculture, healthcare, and governance. Additionally, AI centers of excellence in key sectors are driving research and application development. AI for India's languages. India is developing its own AI models, including large language models tailored for Indian languages. Digital India Bhashini is breaking language barriers, while Bharat Gen and Sarvam 1 are revolutionizing public services, content creation, and multilingual AI applications. AI-powered public services. AI is seamlessly integrating with digital public infrastructure, from managing crowds at Mahakumbh 2025 to streamlining financial services. India's AI-driven solutions are setting global benchmarks for efficiency and accessibility. Pragmatic AI regulation approach. India is investing in AI-driven safeguards, funding top universities and IITs to develop solutions for deepfakes, privacy risk, and cybersecurity threat. The future of AI in India. With a strong talent pipeline, robust AI investments, and a pragmatic regulatory approach, India is on track to becoming a global AI powerhouse. The future is digital, and India is leading the way. With input from Tapush Bhattacharya, Tripti Party Support, TT India.
Prasar Bharati CEO Gaurav Dwivedi and Ambassador of India, Dr. TV Nagendra Prasad, met with Vice Minister of Culture and Information of Kazakhstan, Kanat Izakov, in Astana today. Both sides discussed bilateral cooperation, including WAVE Summit 2025. Prasar Bharati CEO handed over invitation from Information and Broadcasting Minister Ashwini Vaishnav to the Minister of Culture and Information of Kazakhstan, Aida Balayeva, and from Information and Broadcasting Secretary to Vice Minister Kanat Izakov. The Kazakh minister said they would try to participate in the WAVE Summit and encourage Kazakh agencies to participate as well. In sports, Naomi Osaka lost 6-4, 6-4 to Camila Osorio in the first round of Indian Wells on Wednesday. The former world number one struggled to find her rhythm after recovering from an abdominal injury that made her withdraw from the Australian Open. Though she showed glimpses of her powerful game, Osaka admitted it was the worst match of her life. Currently ranked 52, Osorio used clever drop shots and slices to unsettle Osaka, breaking her serve in both sets. It was Osorio's first ever win at the Indian Wells and a historic moment as she became the first Colombian woman to beat a former world number one. Bangladesh's veteran wicketkeeper Mushfiqur Rahim announced his retirement from ODI cricket after the team's disappointing run in the Champions Trophy. Mushfiqur took to social media to announce his retirement, revealed that he made his decision after going through a tough couple of weeks. Mushfiqur has finished his ODI career with a whooping 7,795 runs in 274 matches, with 9 centuries and 49 half-centuries. He ends his rollercoaster career in the format as Bangladesh's second highest run-getter behind Tamim Iqbal's record of 8,357 runs. That's all for this edition of DD India Live. Let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. For those on the go, you can get all the latest news and updates from India and across the world on DD India mobile app. This app is available on both Android and iOS platforms. Scan this QR code to download the app now. And we'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Shubhendu Ghosh from all of us here in Delhi. Thanks for watching DD India Live. Namaskar.